The rain hadn't stopped for days. The sky was a heavy gray, as if the clouds themselves mourned with her. Evelyn sat on the old wooden porch, staring blankly into the fields beyond her small farmhouse. Every drop that fell reminded her of what she had lost: her family, her dreams, her youth. Alone, childless, and widowed, she had no one left to call her own. Then she heard it, a faint cry carried on the wind. At first she thought it was her mind playing tricks, but there it was again, weak, desperate. She stood up, clutching her shawl tighter, and followed the sound past the broken fence, past the wilting roses her husband had once planted. And there, under the oak tree, she saw him. A tiny baby, wrapped in a thin, damp blanket, left in a basket like discarded bread. She looked around. No car, no footsteps, nothing but the howling wind. Evelyn hesitated. She was old, tired, and had buried too many dreams already. But how could she walk away? She picked up the child, his face pale, lips trembling. As she held him close, he stopped crying, as if he'd been waiting for her arms. She whispered to him, "You're not mine, but maybe you're meant to be." That night, she lit the fireplace and fed the baby warm milk from an old bottle she hadn't touched in years. She didn't know where he'd come from, who had left him, or why, but she named him Lucas, after the light that breaks after a storm. Raising Lucas wasn't easy. The townsfolk whispered, judged. "That old widow raising a baby, she's crazy," they said. But Evelyn didn't care. She worked long days on her farm, her hands blistered, her back sore, but her heart slowly filled with something she thought was long gone: love. Lucas grew up with bright eyes and an endless curiosity. But he wasn't like other children. He had trouble speaking. Words didn't come easily, and some days he barely spoke at all. At school, he was bullied, mocked for being the mute boy raised by the witch widow. Evelyn fought back tears whenever he came home bruised and silent. She'd sit with him at night, holding his hand, reading stories aloud. Sometimes he'd cry quietly, his little fingers gripping hers. One evening, after a particularly harsh day, Lucas looked up and said his first full sentence, "Don't leave me." Evelyn's heart shattered. She hugged him, promising, "Never. I'll never leave you, my boy." Years passed. Evelyn aged, her hair silvering, her body weaker. Yet Lucas grew tall, gentle, and brilliant, his mind a treasure trove of thoughts he couldn't always say aloud. He learned to fix things, radios, engines, anything broken. But more than anything, he had a gift with music. He could listen to a song once and play it by ear on the old piano Evelyn kept in the attic. They had little money, barely enough to fix the leaking roof or keep the heater running in winter. Evelyn often went to bed hungry so Lucas could eat. She never told him. She just watched him, proud, as he played melodies that seemed to paint colors in the air. Then came the storm. One night lightning struck the barn. The fire spread quickly, threatening to take everything Evelyn owned. Lucas tried to save the animals, the tools, but the smoke overwhelmed him. Evelyn, despite her weak frame, dragged him out, collapsing herself in the process. She was hospitalized for weeks, her body too frail to recover fully. The doctor said she needed better care, but there was no money. Lucas sat by her side, tears he couldn't speak falling onto her hands. That night, when Evelyn slept, Lucas made a decision. He left town, taking with him only a backpack and his music. He promised her, silently, that he'd return when he could give her the life she deserved. Years passed. Evelyn never heard from Lucas again. The house grew quieter. Seasons changed, and each one left her more alone than before. She waited, a chair by the window, watching the road every day. Neighbors said he had abandoned her. She never believed it, but doubt had a cruel voice. Then, 20 years later, the phone rang. Evelyn, now with shaky hands and tired bones, answered. "Evelyn James?" the voice asked. "Yes." "Who's this?" There was a pause, and then, "It's Lucas!" She froze. His voice was deeper, richer, like a man who'd seen the world. "I'm coming home, Mama." Mama. He'd never called her that before. Her heart almost gave out right then. The next day, a black car pulled up to the old farmhouse. The door opened, and out stepped a tall, handsome man in a crisp suit. His eyes, those same bright eyes, searched for her. Evelyn stood on the porch, trembling. Lucas ran to her, dropping to his knees. He took her hands, tears falling freely. "I'm sorry it took me so long," he whispered. "But I made it. I made something of myself." He told her everything. He had traveled the world, played music in the streets, then in cafes, then on grand stages. He'd saved every penny, built connections, and now owned one of the most successful music production companies in the country. But no matter how far he went, every note he played was for her. "I never forgot," he said. "I did this for you." But that wasn't all. Behind him, another car arrived. A group of men stepped out, builders, architects. "I'm rebuilding this place," Lucas smiled. "No more leaks, no more cold winters. You'll have the home you deserve." Evelyn wept. Not because of the wealth or the house, but because her boy, the one who never was hers by blood, had come back. That night, as the sun set in gold and crimson, Lucas played the old piano again, but this time the house was alive with music, laughter, and the warmth of family. Evelyn passed a few years later, but she did so peacefully, knowing that she had been a mother after all. And Lucas? He never stopped playing. Every concert, every song, he dedicated to the woman who picked up a crying baby from under an oak tree and loved him into greatness. Family isn't always about blood. Sometimes it's about the people who choose to love us when the world leaves us behind. And no matter how long the road, love, true love, always finds its way home.